Hello everyone and welcome to the Gibson Show, and today I am joined by WaZo, the coach of Rebels Gaming. WaZo, how are you doing today?
All good, thank you.
Yeah, so basically first off, congratulations on making Challenger League. You guys had one of the most dominant national seasons I think anyone's ever seen. 27-0 I think you were on fixtures.
Yeah, I mean, we do the Spain National was at 27 now in maps, but we have also the Six Master Siberia. That's like a cup that we have. We have been with this team. We was like Movistar Riders in the past. Now we're Rebels. And at the end of the day, it was like the full year was like a 34-0 in maps. So I think that's very good, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of the most dominant seasons I think I've ever seen from any national side, and because of it, you've deserved your spot inside Challenger League. But Challenger League obviously is going to be a little bit different. You're playing the top teams in Tier 2 all across Europe. So, you've got the champions of every single national league, plus a couple of very, very good sides who qualified through Opens as well. Weekend 1, this is the fun thing about this interview. Weekend 1 is already done, so we can kind of talk about how the group has gone by. So,
yeah,
very dominant on day 1. You played the game on Clubhouse. I actually had the chance to cast that game. It was incredibly dominant from start to finish. But one of the things that you did really well was masking players' positions. In particular, there was one round where Croxon was prone in Adam.
Yeah.
And you had Malusi on the stairs shooting drones. Is that something you'd worked on all through the season, or was that just something that the players kind of decided to do on the spot?
I mean, for a start, we are not the same team that won the Spain National. Not exactly. We did two changes. One was Thunder, that was in Navi, and the other one was Cruxon, that is like this guy that just come new to the Spain Nations League and start like gunning everyone. It's like his aim is awesome, to be honest. So it's not something that we have been preparing, but we have always like talked about doing this type of thing, like play with their teammates, because we think that we have a lot of potential in that spot. So also from Victus, it was a map that we really analyzed. We know how we want to play and what they're going to try to make us. So yeah, I think it was just by the moment, but with all the things that we have been working and preparing around the year.
Yeah. One of the things that I really like about the team is how you've got this really good mix of experience and then just really young gunners. Like, obviously, you've got Goga there. I don't think there's anybody in Siege who doesn't know who Goga is or what he managed to achieve. But you brought in, as you said, Thunder from Navi. Very good player in his own right. Croxon, you just mentioned. But in addition to that, you've got Fosquito, who is one of the best gunners in Europe as well. Are you happy with the way the team's kind of playing over the first weekend, or do you think there's still room to grow?
Obviously, still a lot to prove. I think also in the last week, just because of the Challenger, we proved a lot. So I think, as you say, we have this experience with Goga, also with Thunder. One thing about Goga is that maybe a lot of people was thinking about Goga coming here just like to play, to have fun, nothing more. But I think it's one of the not only in Rainbow but in all in my entire life, one of the most competitive people. Like he always want to win. Yeah, he is going to train as hard as he can for that, and it's something that I admire him a lot for that. So as you say, we have Fosquito and we have Cruxon. I honestly gonna say that they're maybe into the 10 most powerful players into what aim means and what Gunner says in Europe, without any doubt. Also, we have, as you say, Thunder Goga, but I also want to talk about Kuribo. Kuribo, I think he's like the Spanish player that needs to be in European League soon. Not only because how he plays in the Super Bowl or the classes, but his brain also is amazing. As an AGL, as how I understand the game, he has been like in trials in some European League teams around this year. But I think that it's like the full team, we have like all the types of players that you want to be in a team. We have it in Rebels, so I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, because whenever we were, internally having talks about all the teams inside a Challenger League, Rebels is the team that I thought a lot of people were sleeping on. A lot of people, they said they hadn't seen a lot of you guys, and they were like, I don't know what to expect. And I was thinking, Group A, probably from top to bottom, the most difficult group in Challenger League when you look at everybody that's playing. And I don't think anybody is going to get the order of that group right, based on their initial projections, because everybody is so good. But the fun thing about your group is the fact that 2 teams are owned by professional football players. You've got David De Gea, Juan Mata, and I think Bruno Fernandes all have a stake in Rebels. And then, of course, you've got the Jesse Lingard side for JLE. When you're looking at the group, though, yourself, who do you think is going to be on top come the end? Because there's 3 teams. I think actually all 4 teams, technically, it's in their own hands, because it's 6 points at top, 5, 4, 3, all the way down to Victus in 4th on 3 points. This weekend's going to be a pretty tough one.
I mean, I don't know if it's like the group of death, but I'm gonna say it's like so balanced. To be honest, I know that a lot of people were like not hoping us to get any points. It's normal. We play in the Spanish National. It's not that important league in Europe. We know it. But also, I think that with these games being around, like we won versus Victus, we lose versus the Limited, we lose on the overtime versus J-Links. I really need to say that I think that we can either win the 3 or lose it, because the level is like so balanced. I don't think Victus is gonna be another 7-2 for us next week. But I think we can also win like the Unlimited without any problem. It's just how the games becomes to the end. I also need to say like a fun fact about this, because I think that maybe the most difficult team for us can be the Unlimited, because how they play. But how they work, like with you say with David De Gea, Juan Mata, I talk a lot with De Gea, because he's like a big fan of Rainbow Six. He wants us to he wants to see our streams. He wants to be there, and he talked with us like, okay, don't worry, next week you can do better. Just make sure you win versus J-Links, because I want to beat Lingard. And yeah, it's like a fun fact that whether we lose or that, we have like the support of the org, of a Spain community, but also of the head, that it's something, something cool for us to have like that support behind us.
Yeah, so I was going to say it, as a Manchester United fan, I grew up, I've been to many games. Little fanboy moment when I found out that David De Gea owned Rebels. It was huge, because he's one of my favorite players of all time. I'm sorry for fanboying, but I'm not going to lie. I think it's absolutely incredible that he actually does take such an active role inside the team, and he's so interested in what's going on. And I think he'll definitely be happy with what he saw. I think, as always, every team inside Challenger League, apart from job seekers and makers, probably saying to themselves right now, there's little things that we can do better going into next week to improve our record. But one last question on your group then. Unlimited, you spoke about them already. The thing that I've noticed about every game they've played is they storm into a lead. Even in the game they lost against Victus on Sunday, they storm a couple of rounds ahead very early, and it's a mix of aggression and good decision making. How do you think, not just your team, but any team, can slow them down? Because every team's going to struggle whenever you find yourself 3-4 rounds down inside the first half.
Yeah. I mean, it's a team that I think you need to talk a lot into the game. The first 2 rounds that we lose in that game, because it was our fault, because we didn't like communicate. It's a team like just search the aggression. They're gonna do things that, to be honest, they are not common. They just like have confidence in themselves, and they go and they shoot, and they have a lot of gunners on that team that are doing like massive games this weekend. So I think the only thing that I can say about them is how to play them is just don't feel so much pressure if you lose 1 round. Make confident of yourself. If you keep like pushing, it's a team like you can like read how they play and just stay calm. it's like a game that you can win. But if at the moment that you are like feeling pressure because you are losing some rounds or because you are not playing that good, or because maybe I have Mosquito and I have Croxon that they are massive gunners, but the moment that, for example, Hypes win a trade, it's like, wow, Mosquito can do anything because. So the thing is that, okay, calm down. They are also good gunners. Just let's play another thing. Let's try to manage to play our style. And if you go to that, I think that there's a team like all in tier 2. You can beat anyone in tier 2. It's not that god level as I have seen, like, for example, BDS.
I think, though, with every tier in Europe right now, though, anybody can beat anybody. You know, it's a very competitive scene we find ourselves in right now. And I'm kind of going to use that to talk about maybe some of the other groups now and get your thoughts on the other teams inside Challenger League. So we'll start off looking at Group B. And Group B was the group that I think a lot of people, I'm not going to say underestimated, but a lot of people maybe didn't know a lot about the teams taking part in. You know, you have Lamb Party Hotel, who have been so impressive so far. Yeah. You've got the X Ovation roster, which are going under LFO now. You have the Death Row roster, and then I think last on but not least in that group we have, I think it is Activity, the champions of BNL. What are your thoughts on the teams in that group, and who do you think is going to get through at the end?
At the start, to be honest, there are teams that we have screamed a lot there in that group. At the start of the Challenger League, I said, okay, there are teams that, to be honest, we have beaten in a scrim, so we can, if we manage to play versus them, we can do it. Also, I've seen like very good death throw with Swath that has been in the Spain Nations also. Yeah, I know him from Spain Nations, and I have seen the game of death throw, and I think that he matched very good with the style that death throw is like trying to play. I'm very impressive about Lamb Party Hotel. I didn't expect that from them because I know that it's not a bad team, but I think they have like 3 wins now. Having 3 wins in the first weekend is so impressive for them. But also I think, yeah, in my opinion, I think Lamb Party Hotel will go to the next part because, I mean, they already won 3 of them. But I think, or I expect Death Throw to put a bit more of aggression of that style that I personally love, of being that like just going there and have gunners that make your kills. And I think that Tetro can do like a very good job in the next weekend.
Yeah, I think Schwaz and Shukri got 30 kills between the two of them yesterday, or on Sunday. It was one of the most incredible performances I've seen from 2 players on one team in a long, long time. And then Group C, this is the group that I think is going to raise the most eyebrows when you look at the scoreboard as of today. So right now, Job Seekers are top of that group. Then you've got Wild, then you've got Ascend, and then you've got Viperio 86. Do you think anybody out there thought that Job Seekers will be sitting with 9 points after the first weekend?
I have been talking this with my teammates also because of the experience that I told you that we have on the scrims and that. To be honest, I don't have like any idea about how this channel league is going on because I didn't expect Lampartio being that. I didn't expect Job Seekers getting 3 victories in that group. I mean, obviously, it's a team that have played NPL, he have some level, but winning Athens and Wild like that is something that I didn't expect. Maybe the Viperio thing is something that I was more prepared of because of the changes, of the all the evolution that the roster have needs to become to be there. And on the other hand, obviously Job Seekers is like probably are into the quarterfinals right now, or the playoffs right now. I don't know what's the phase. But I think Wild will take that other spot. I don't think Wild is like this unbeatable team. I think that people now are like getting to know because we have the gamer set and all this stuff and the CL quals, but I haven't seen the GCA and I don't think they're this unbeatable team. But of course they're very good. So I think that how they are playing also with these attacks that it's funny to see. I think that they will get the second spot. and will be a tough team to play in playoffs in about 3, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's exciting because if job seekers can get a 1-win next weekend, it's probably enough to qualify through for the knockouts. And for a team that, you know, just about made the finals of their National League NPL, to manage to get in and perform the way they have done, it
makes no sense. Yeah, it's like, congrats for them, of course, and they're playing so good. But I think no one was expecting that, to be honest.
Yeah, and look, as I said, we're all loving it. You know, every team that turns up and plays to their best, it's something that we all want to see. So finally, we've got Group D, and this is the group that's been dominated by Makers. And look, you don't have to talk too much about Makers. They're one of the top sides in Italy. You know, they're not too far away from playing an SI. The core 3 players that they have, you know, with Aki and Lolo, it's a very, very good team. And I don't think anything's going to surprise them when they play in a game, and I don't think they should surprise anybody either, because everybody knows how good of a team they are. But looking at the rest of the group, M&M Academy, a team that didn't even make their national finals. You've 10 Star, a team that dominated every competition they played in this year inside of that Nordic scene. And then finally, you've got KVM, you know, they just picked up Les Pichichi roster. What are your thoughts on how that group's been playing out?
I mean, the thing about Makers is not like winning the 3 games; it's about how they are winning the games. That's, I think, the what impressed me. I know they're a good team and also aggressive one, so they're just like putting all the odds there, trying to make the best, and I think that's great for them. Also, on the other hand, we have like M&M Academy. It's true that they don't get into the NPL finals, but they make some changes with also J-Lo, that was also in the Spain Nations with Betis last year. And to be honest, are making good. They have like good players like Carry, J-Lo, like I say, and I really think that they can achieve the victory and get the second, not the first spot, because obviously I think it's for Makers, but the second one. Then we have Les Pichichi, that it's from KVM now, I think, no? It's the same. It's a team that is not new in the community. This French team that always like in the quals does great, and I think it's a good team. Just maybe they are not in the best group to perform. You know, it's a difficult group. So all the games there are gonna be awesome games, and they are gonna be games that the community enjoys. But other teams in Challenger needs to take a look of that group if they want to make good, because the 2 teams that get out of there, they're gonna be struggling in the playoffs. So
here's where I'm going to ask you the kind of fun questions about a group like that. So Makers pretty much know 1 win again will see them qualify. Looking at M&M Academy are 4 points behind them. 10 Star are 5 points behind them. So realistically, 1 win and they're into the next round. That throws a couple of interesting scenarios up, because obviously the M&M game against 10 Star is going to be massive. Yeah. But if Makers go out and very comprehensively win their next game, there's a very good chance they might just take the foot off the gas a little bit. Do you think that's something that you could see them doing and that causing a little bit of havoc in the group? Or do you think that group is Makers just going to go straight at it, win the group, try to go 18 points in 0 and move on to the playoffs with loads of momentum?
I will say what I will do. I mean, in that case, I don't think they're just gonna relax. I think they probably don't show any new maps and try to, keep that strats from them. But I really think that if they play the same maps that they have been playing, like for example that bank, it's like enough for them. Like no showing anything more, just gunning is enough for them to win that games. So yeah, I probably seen them not playing with that, showing that strats or making that changes. Just going to the neutral game, to how they play, and that's all. But I think they will keep winning just because how good they are in that maps and how they perform in that games.
Yeah, they're an incredible team, and I cannot wait to see what they can do over the rest of the Challenger League. So that brings us to the end of our kind of summary of all the teams and your thoughts on how things are going. So I want to ask you a few questions about Challenger League in general. And For the purpose of this, we're going to ignore Rebels so that you don't have to, we don't have to talk about your own team. If I was to ask you who you think the best team in Challenger League right now, outside of your own, is, who would you say it is?
Right now, yeah, probably Makers. Right now, I will say Makers. I think not just in general, just by the moment they are. Probably I will not say this 1 week before,
Yeah.
But right now, I need to say it because the level that they're like putting in, it's enough to say that they are the best team in Tier 2 right now.
Yeah. And what about individual player? Is there any individual player out there that you'd like to say is the best player out there right now in Challenger League?
I mean, there's a lot of good players in Challenger League. If I can't say my own players, I will probably talk about. I think Lolo is very good, to be honest. I also think Jex from Tenstar. I like so much how they play in NPL. And also from Big Two, I'm gonna say Oscar. It's a player that I was with him in Granite 2 seasons of Challenger League ago. It's a player that always has been there, maybe not having that much opportunities that he deserves, because I really think he's like that good player. There's also Lolo, there's a lot of good players, just trying to say some of them that maybe not everyone identify, just to like give more names into the table.
It's funny because Quick, whenever I spoke to Quick, he singled out Lolo multiple times for praise. Like he was saying that's a guy who deserves to be playing at the highest level. And
yeah,
I think a lot of people would agree with Jegs and Oscar as well, based on the other interviews that we've had. So you're a coach, and obviously as a coach, you have a very important role on a team. Not, it's a little bit of a give and take when you're a coach, because obviously it's up to you to give the players the opportunity to be the best player they can be. And then again, it's up to the players too to teach you things as well. So you'll obviously learn stuff from the team. The team's going to learn stuff from you. Is there anything about your experience as a coach that you think you've been personally able to do to improve the players on your team?
Yeah, I think it has been both ways. For example, we have. I'm gonna talk about. If you ask me, I'm gonna talk this about Fosquito. Not because anything, because it has been like the player I have been coaching the most. We have known like for more than 1.5 years ago, in the 2 Spain Nations ago. So we have been a lot of time together. He teaches me also, I think, because I'm like I like the strategic part of the game, and I also think that if you're gonna go for a trade, needs to you can lose it or win it because it's a shooter, but you need to play like the most integral position that you can, and the way that you can to be with your team to win that trade. No, also Fosquito always saying me this. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a shooter. You need to win your trades. You don't. And it's something that I have been arguing with him a lot of this. I think that I teach him that it's not only about shooting, it's also about how you play with your head. But he also teaches me that there are sometimes that I think a lot, and it's all resumes of who puts the ball on. So a bit of that. Also, I think that I'm coaching players like Goga, for example, that they know a lot of the game. They're gonna be better than me in all the aspects also. And I try to be more like mental, like working with humans. I have been a person. I have played a lot of football in a high level. So the thing that I got is that trying to make more than a group, trying to play that team building stuff, like being together. Now that we are in Challenger, I think that it's one of the most important things to be mental prepared. So I think it's one of the things that I want to work the more, or I better at it. That it's like being with the player together and trying to talk as much as possible, because at the end of the day we are all humans, and it's not about competitive players. It's about 20, 21-year-old boy in his room trying to achieve the best that he can in a game.
It's like, I love talking to coaches because, you know, you learn so much more about the way they look at the game and the way the coaches look at the team too. So last question, this is how we're going to wrap up the whole interview, because it's been, you know, it's been 25 minutes already, but it's been really good 25 minutes. Last question. You're a coach. We're not going to include Rebels players. So if you had to pick a team of 5 players through Challenger League that you could build a team with, not including your own team, who would you pick as your 5 players?
Okay. Let me think of it. I think I will choose Oscar. As I said. I will choose Lolo as well. I need to say that 2 of them I probably take Caneo, maybe. I think that it's a player that also in, you know, not only in the game but also in Twitter, I think I agree with him in a lot of things. So I probably choose him. Let me check quick at Wikipedia just to like be sure about what players I need now, also about the roles. But I mean, it's a huge question. You know, it's not only about the roles on the games, also about how these people connect each other. But let me see if they open. Yeah, maybe I will look. I said Caneo, Oscar, and Lolo so far, right?
Yeah.
So I will probably say I want to take someone of Tensor because I love how they play. So probably gonna take GX. Maybe I'm taking a bit of entries here, to be honest.
So yeah, you've got Oscar, Lolo, and Jegs in there already. It's it'll be definitely be interesting in the first minute of any round.
Yeah, and I will take Manita support now. This I didn't think a lot of this, but maybe I take someone from M&M Academy. I will say. I don't really know. Maybe I have to think about the TL games that I haven't seen. And for example, I think Nerf can be a good one. Also, Quick as an entry. I mean, in the game that we played versus them last day was a bit of a hell. So probably then, yeah, I think there's a lot of players. I think that my selection will be Lolo and Jex as an entry, trying to make Oscar like a bit more flex player that I think that he can be, and then take Caneo and probably Nerf into that point.
I like that team. That's a nice one. I'm sure Nerf will love a little bit of a shout out as well, because you're talking 75 players. You know, outside of your own team, there's 75 players in Challenger League that you're trying to pick the best 5 out of. So I like the team that you've picked. Well, that brings us to the end of the interview. So first off, WaZo, I want to say a massive thanks for taking part in the interview, because of course this is you giving up some of your own time to do this. And congratulations on a good start to Challenger League. I'm sure you'll be hoping to improve upon it next week. And what can I say other than best luck? Best of luck. And if you guys put in a really good performance, I see no reason why you can't be taking part in Challenger League playoffs next month.
Thank you so much. We're going to try it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. And remember, guys, if you haven't, please give WaZo and give Rebels a follow on Twitter. You know, show the boys a little bit of support, because I know they definitely would love to see some love in chat ahead of all the games. So, guys, from me, from WaZo, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you all again soon.
Bye.